when I retired in 1994 from the GAO, we finally achieved a goal which Rose and I had for a long time. That was to return to Albuquerque, where we had many friends, where we had maintained our contacts with our relatives, where our children, Naomi and Deborah, had both been born. And so we were very happy to return. We lived for a brief period in Rio Rancho, then we moved into Albuquerque. We've never regretted that move. We've enjoyed it. We have participated in various activities, volunteer activities. I had, when we lived in Maryland, been pretty active at the temple. I became the president during a time that we were building a building, Temple Solel, in Bowie, Maryland. And the interesting thing about this temple was that we had very little money and we did much of the physical labor ourselves. We had some contractors who did the basic work and we did everything else. The families would come out on weekends, the kids would come out, they'd pull weeds, they'd do various and sundry things. It was a real family community enterprise. I've been a member of Reformed temples for many, many years. Our kids were brought up to go to the temple, have gone to religious schools there. Our grandchildren have and are doing the same. And I think that this has added a real dimension to our lives. I think that it's provided, for me at any rate, a sense of identity with an historic people that as an individual, as a family, we are not isolated. We have a place in the universe. We're part of a long procession from the past to the present that will continue in the future. And I think that's very important, without necessarily being extremely religious. I think it places you someplace in the cosmos. And I think that's critical. I know friends of mine feel don't have any perspective. They don't know where they are. They feel like they're just individual units floating someplace. Whereas I feel anchored, and I think our families feel anchored. And that's been wonderful to be that part of a tradition that has value and speaks to us and will continue to speak for many, many years to come. For many years, I've been a book collector, and I have collected books in various areas: the West, rivers, mountains, trails, Judaica, natural resources, Art Deco and Art Nouveau, just a whole range of issues. One particular series I started collecting after I found a book here in Albuquerque. It was about a river. And I bought it from a man who had opened an office near our office in downtown Albuquerque, opened a store rather, and he was basically a person who bought estates and sold antiques and all that, but over the course of time had gathered many, many books. So I went in there and bought many books from him, including this one book about a river. And it was 15 cents. And it was engrossing. And that started me on my collecting. Let me say that I collected 67 more to complete the series. It took me, well, I started in 61, and it took me approximately till about 1984, 85 to complete the collection. And believe me, I've spent much more than 15 cents in the ensuing years. But My wife, Rose, promised that when I got the last book, she would throw me a party. And that she did. So we had a big party here at home uh, with several cakes referring to the books, with several displays, with many friends attending, and they were each asked to bring a book for a book exchange so everybody could go home with a book. That was a nice, not an ending to my book collecting, because I still collect. And in fact, the big problem at home is, where do I put the books? This storing books is a problem. I've become a curator, a protector of books, worried about drawing and the sun's effects on books. I didn't think this would happen, but that's been my primary hobby. I've hoped that I've influenced my children and grandchildren uh, to have some love for books. I think it's important. I think it gives you a dimension in life.